All right. Hello everyone. I'm back here with Age of Wonders 4 content, and if you thought that I'm gonna forget about that DLC in the first major update, of course. Well, this is gonna be one of those weird videos which sometimes they become viral, and you know, there's a famous like Dota 2 patch note reading video. Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be a shorter video, and there's not gonna be gameplay or like comparison or something. I mean, I guess it'll be cool, but it requires a lot of editing, and I decided to just, you know, have you guys in a loop of what's happening. Age of Wonders 4 got the first major update plus the first DLC released, and I haven't streamed yet or played it because I was busy this week for the Steam Festival, like I was saying, in many minor streams. But you can expect, of course, actual Age of Wonders 4 in coming days, of course. So today I'm gonna be right now reviewing and reading literally everything, well, except for maybe some like really irrelevant bug fixes or whatever. I'm actually gonna be reading the entire thing, part 1, part 2, and also there's roadmap, by the way, of 2023, which is pretty cool to look at. In fact, maybe I should even show that first, but you know, you probably already seen it, or you know, that might be a good, you know, like bait to watch the rest of the video. This is crazy. I don't know how long it's gonna go for, but wish me good luck. Also, this is not live stream. It's YouTube exclusive content. All right, there we go. Age of Wonders 4 Wyvern updates, which is a code name for their free update. And then, of course, there's the DLC package itself. By the way, cool fact, you see there's achievements here. Still to this day, 1.1% of all players who have the game got achievement of basically, you know, completing the entire campaign. Anyway, wish me luck. I'm opening this page. Highlights. New feature, create faction and random generator. By the way, for the context, during my live streams, there was some, of course, my dear viewers who are really excited for Age of Wonders 4, and they were already kind of like giving me some tiny spoilers about the patch notes. I actually never read the whole thing, or I just seen some really drastic changes, or heard, I mean, and some of the new... There's obviously new gameplay, OP stuff. But yeah, I will say it immediately. So apparently the Triumph Studios is doing essentially what they're doing before, so it's not like, wow, it's so surprising. Developers understand and they really like the popularity of their games, and like, people love breaking them and finding exploits, but at the same time, they are taking care of, it seems like, the most obvious and the most broken exploit and low effort exploits. So they're cutting on that down and also trying to buff other things and what's not. And the most important, I guess, is quality of life, which I need to see, of course, in the game itself, but we can probably understand most of it through the text. Anyway. But yeah, I've seen already, and from some streamers that checked it out already. I heard really positive reception about this update in general. But yeah, unfortunately right now on Twitch there's less and less streamers playing Age of Wonders 4 due to the, you know, I guess the game is released and not everybody wanted to go back already yet. I mean, there's a lot of economical decisions. Right now this Alien game was released, there's a Mechabellum, people are addicted to that, there's Steam Festival going on. There's you cannot blame, you know, streamers for not playing. I mean, including myself. I like, as much as I love Age of Wonders 4, just like, you know, sometimes I gotta do what's the, you know, economically viable, and I had a lot of also, you know, like backlog and promises to the developers, and I had to promote a bunch of the various demos and what's not. I'm still actually doing it. But I figured I will, you know, upload this Age of Wonders 4 patch notes reading. Let's go. A new feature, create faction random generator. What do you mean feature random generator? Added the create faction option to the main menu. This takes you to the faction selection where you can create a new faction or choose edit or existing one. Isn't that basically, you know, creating your wizard / leader? I guess to create faction. Well, I need to launch the game and see what it is. Added a random rule. Ah, a random generator is like a ruler generator. Found in your custom ruler tab. This option will generate a random ruler faction to play as. Sure, I guess. Maybe they're just streamlining this whole like thing when you're creating a game. New traits, a body trait, poisonous. Form units. Form units? What does form means? Applied resistance and melee attackers have a chance to become poisoned. Cool. Society trait. Artifact hoarders gain a tier 2, tier 3 hero item after clearing ancient wonder infestation. Gain extra mana for unequipped hero items in your inventory and start with 2 random hero items. Wait a second, gain extra mana for unequipped hero items. They're talking about like combat, you know, it's called combat spellcasting and all that. Gain extra mana for unequipped hero items in your inventory. Like mana is just like one time, you know, resource be capable and so gain artifact is cool, yeah. Ancient Wonder Infestation is great, but I mean it's a society trait, so again it's competing against really powerful stuff. Keep in mind, you know, especially for the, you know, good old strategies. Again, some of the strategies apparently got nerfed, but nonetheless, I'm just trying to understand what it means. Gain extra mana for unequipped hero items in your inventory. So, like, how do I get rewards? Is it like each time I go to combat, or... Ah, maybe they mean the income of the mana. Ah, of course. Sorry, it's been a while. I mean, I've been playing a lot of games, by the way. All sorts of complicated squad games, the 4X space game, even the Pegasus expedition, by the way, really interesting one. Got full version right now, just recently, and actually I gonna be probably handling this on my alternative channel or YouTube, like. But yeah, I just my brain is right now filled with other stuff. Yeah, it means that you get slightly like more income of mana, I guess. Well, okay then. It sounds great. It's kinda, you know, instead of just getting one item and then like 2 random items, this definitely feels better than some of the old school options that we had there. Improvements, world map, new events, further explore the history of your ruler with new origining events for Ascended Champions and Wizard Kings. Huh? New events, Ascended, so I mean you have to like play with the characters you already completed Ascension, or history of your ruler? Well, maybe just they're like calling it, but maybe it's like some kind of fancy. Basically, there's an event that could happen, and it's gonna show your previous character, I guess. And just the same thing, maybe like rewards. You know, pick the right option. Mostly, you know, the Imperium. Underground resources, excavating diggable earth can uncover resource nodes and magic materials alongside pickups in a casual marauding army. Well, I mean, it was pretty much like that before, except it was much rarer, and I guess it's now stacks too. Resource nodes, magic materials. Yeah, I think you couldn't do magic materials before. Yeah, resource nodes. Yeah. Pickups on occasional. Yeah. I think the biggest change is magic materials. That's huge. And they're trying to slowly buff the value of caverns, and that's gonna be also part of the roadmap, by the way, there. But yeah, dismantle city ruins. Yes, you can do it. Yes, yes, you can do it. Man, it was so weird that essentially city ruins were such a weird cog block on the map. That was so crazy. You couldn't access the specific resources because of some city ruins or similar issue like that. 3-turn world map operation allows to remove city ruins from province, making it eligible. Nice, amazing. Improvements, quality of life. And this is exciting because there's like. Also, if you're wondering why this whole page is like this, is because like Steam new layout. Trust me, I have a correct monitor. Like I mean, it's like in the middle for me, but here, it's because it's like. Well, if you have the Steam, you know how it is now when you open up page of any news. It is definitely center aligned for me, just like I had to cut my left bar, which is like the games, and the right bar, so that's why it looks like that. Anyway, we now have the ability to disable combat action camera, giving full control to the player. This should help with accessibility. You have full ability to disable combat action camera. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Status effects are now also displayed in the unit abilities panel. Oh, here you can see number of stacks and duration of effect. This also includes tooltips, so you don't have to enter the unit panel anymore to determine the... Yes! I cannot wait to see how it actually looks in game. This is huge. I mean, if they also fix the AoE thing, you know, like with the chances display and everything, that's GG then. This is actually one of my most, like, obvious quality of life was requested. Show location button should now indicate way better where corresponding event location. Yeah, I kind of understand they did this like a mysterious magical like thing. They could just like, if you play Here's the Mind of Magic game, it kind of reminds me that Grail, you know, like a hint where the objective is on a map. I could sometimes, like, I think 90% of the time I could understand where it was, but yeah, I just because I was, you know, not into the game. Almost 200 hours into it, so I was constantly paying too much attention towards any single detail. But yeah, I definitely understand why many players couldn't find correct location. Besides, their previous game was basically showing it literally without any of these fancy visuals, right? So like if you remember Age of Wonders 2, 3, and I think in Planetfall 2, I don't remember. Observe mode has a new setting, enemies only, which with this only movement actions done by hostile enemies. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. Nice. General. So I assume this is all... Actually, no, I guess quality of life is done, but I am pretty sure there's a lot of more things that are going to be technically counts as quality of life. General. Added social media buttons to main and pause menu. Social media buttons? Sure. Difficulty setting of the initiation realm is now locked to easy. Yes! I mean, that tutorial, like, you want to start a tutorial, you start a freaking scenario, and you have to play it, yeah. Manufacture the war achievement now triggers when starting any war with moderate justification or higher than reaching. Okay. Combat. Okay, that's gonna be crazy one here. Unit critical hit chance can no longer be higher than their chance to hit a target. Wait, that was a problem? This prevents high crit chance always. So the formula was... Yeah. Some games do have this weird thing where if you have like 100% crit, it's guaranteed hit too. Yeah, it reminds me of that also at Long War 2, you know, the grazing / crit formula. But yeah, most tactical combat summons now have a limited amount of turns to live. And here we go. This is like literally I'm reading it live with you guys. My first impression. This is the one heck of a big nerf, and again, it's justified. Like I used the summons like crazy, and that was reason why I was able to do these crazy challenges and put it on my thumbnail on YouTube, like, you know, like turn 19 level 20 hero and leader and everything. It's just so crazy, dude. Signature skill, summon animal, summon lust for 3 turns. Oof. Again, you could get value out of it through 3. To keep in mind that most actual combat lasts, well, basically, like, see, if you don't get a camp at the beginning, especially, well, if it's not like a ancient wonder and everything, yeah, where the map is small, and you're forced to engage pretty much faster. In bigger maps, yeah, if you're specifically not going to be spending times buffing and all that stuff, like, you know, correctly putting your soldiers for the morale or the, you know, these bolstering effects, 3 turns is exactly where you need to do stuff for engaging. But then again, would you spend your entire turn on a hero then to summon something? Instead of doing something really productive with your hero, and there's a lot of things you can do, of course. I guess you can summon it still at the start, and just quickly, like, suicide summon, essentially. Summon elemental, summon slows 3 turns, summon undead. Now summon tier 3 undead unit and that lasts for 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't tier 3 undead unit is basically Banshee? I think there might be one more guy, like the soul. I think there's like this like physical like resistance unit there, or was it tier? No, it was tier 3, I think, too. Well, either way, their Banshee is like, I guess Banshee fits the whole minus morale memes, yeah, and despair builds, which apparently are buffed now, from what I heard. But yeah, also lasts for 3. So no more triple scale. This is the summon undead nerf is super huge. I mean, it's still like, you know, think of this. It's relatively easy to level up to 5, and then if you get one of those summons 3-turn abuse, like, it's definitely not going to be any more auto win just because you have like summon. A fantastic nerf. I like it. Again, I like to see it, even though I was a dirty abuser of that. Let's go. Tomes. Oh, yeah. So, by the way, keep in mind that some spells, like, I don't have a wiki here opened. I might not be able to even get the context of some spells, which is totally fine. I played a lot, but I haven't covered, like, every single tome. Like, most of them I've seen, yeah. Anyway, a summoning conjure astral keeper. Oh, wow, they're also nerfing these ones. So, astral keeper for 3 turns. Oof, yeah, that's wait, so basically that means that all the abilities that they have, like healing and what's not, yeah, they're gonna also just use once and they're gone. This is like overpriced. Heal and tank. Yeah. Oof. Conjure amplification pylon. Summons less for 3 turns. Increase damage from 60 to 20 lightning damage. Oh, so it's not permanent anymore, pylon either. Oh, damn. Well, yeah, people, it's so easy to abuse permanent summon in the combat. It's such an unfair advantage versus independence and even most AIs. Like, the only chance you might get, like, cheese, so the only way to get you can get countered. Like, I mean, remember, I was defeating armies with 1 scout unit. Computer was attacking, like, literally 1 scout unit was killing, like, you know, Meandor and every top tier level opponent, like their wizards or leaders, and it's ridiculous. So yeah, Totem of Wild has now also lost 3 turns instead of, okay, so, well, at least Totem of the Wild actually kind of performs the similar way, yeah, but no, never mind. Animals also summoned 3 lost turns. I mean, I guess it's still good. 3 bodies and 3 turns, yeah. For each for 3 turns. It's probably better than that lightning damage. Honestly, damage from lightning, like, I try to make actually spellcaster damage build. I thought they're gonna be stronger, but it was not about spells that does damage. It's about units that you can buff a bunch of enchants and medals and all that stuff. Yeah, it was to my surprise to find out that a lot of the late game spells in that fuck, I forget the blue like icon of the spells. And the amplification, like tome and everything. Not the mystic. Mystic is a culture. I forgot already. Astral, yeah, there we go. Astral. Astral magic. Top tier spells that were supposed to do damage on Astral were so disappointing. Like, the best spells were basically like these super giga cheats, like, you know, stop time and stunning entire army for one turn. Now that's a spell. Like, but actual damage, nah. Not worth it. It's kind of weird how these exclusive spells for the tier 5 unit, that tentacle, forgotten wizard or whatever, yeah, these top tier 5 units, mythical units, they actually get a better combat spells. Well, whatever. It just, in comparison to stuff that you can do in tier 4 and tier 5, yeah, the damage is not worth there anymore, in the cost especially. The beasts, wild speaker, conjure animal, summons less for 4 turns. Okay, so this one is 4 turns, though the summon animal from that is also trash, yeah. Fertility, animate flora, summons less for 3 turns. Aww, well, I mean, it still acts like it's huge destruction tank, so this is still strong. Don't let it fool you, this is very strong. Flora is a completely insane spell. Kind of like Vines, which, by the way, in my streams and videos, I haven't even abused it that much, but you're gonna see it later and what's going on with that. Horn God, Awaken Flora. So, they also had the nerf. Well, by the way, that actually decreases the, like, it was really hard to justify tier 5 units like Horn God and everything like that. Now it's, yeah, it's, man, the amount of upkeep they have is so crazy, dude. I couldn't wait to play the new DLC and see how strong new dragon leaders are, because yeah, it looks like they're just some interesting stuff there you could get at the start of the game. Anyway, a beacon, conjure, divine beacon, summon. So yeah, everything that summons essentially. Yeah, astral convergence, explosive manifestations. Yeah, also 3. Yeah. Didn't they forget about some summon? I think they forgot some astral summon. Like there was more than just keeper and manifestation, no? There was another one of those, like, I think there is a small eel, you know, like that eel thing, or I think they're forgetting about something here. But yeah, we'll see it in the actual game. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that in the comments already, of course. Units Fire Giant also probably nerfed that. Now correctly says it lost 3 turns. Yeah, by the way, wasn't this runestone is temporal actually? Yeah, that, but it was for long. Lost. The Lost Wizard, Astral Rift, Forbidden Tome summons lost for 3 turns. Ghost Ship. Wait, what is Ghost Ship even? The heck is Ghost Ship? It's a unit? Maybe it is a really rare exclusive, like water-only unit. I honestly never seen Ghost Ship. Maybe I should have played some custom realms though, but yeah. I completed the entire campaign, there was not a single Ghost Ship. Hero item Spider, Hatchling Bell, Spider Flute, and Spider Metric like some. Okay, that's expected. Yeah, everything is like 3 turns here, except for Wind Speaker for some reason for 4. Zombie summoning. Oof, that's probably also going to be destroyed. Yeah, most zombie summon spells and abilities now summon Decaying Zombie instead, which has a permanent version of Decaying. So, what does that mean? Most zombie summon spells and abilities now summon a Decaying Zombie instead, which has a permanent version of Decaying. And Decaying increased damage per turn from 5 to 10. Wait, is it a buff? I think they're trying to say that you cannot just summon constantly, like, you know, zombies. So zombie die, you can resurrect it as a zombie. So instead, you resurrect as a decaying zombie. So it's like classified as a different unit. Maybe that's what they're trying to say here. Either that, or they just literally buffed zombies Or and decaying too. That again, permanent version of decaying. Does it mean that it's guaranteed? I mean, decaying got a low chance to proc. Permanent version of decay. I'm confused about this. Maybe somebody else can explain that. Either way, these things that I'm confused, I will discover in the game, of course, eventually, or in the comments. Cultures. Again, I could have streamed this live too, but I decided, you know, like not to. Not everybody cares for the Age of Wonders 4, and especially like patch notes analysis. Cultures, Barbarian, War Shaman, Invigorate, change from single action to a full action. Damn. That's unfortunate. Furies, gain Frenzy. Base damage reduced. Oh, they're no Furies, okay. Though Frenzy is good. I mean, it kind of makes sense to have that as on Furies. Well, yeah, base damage decreased. And base damages are really important. Dark. Interrogation dungeon income change from -5 stability to knowledge, +2 knowledge per hero. 2 stability. Wait, plus stability. Less knowledge. +2. Okay, so they increased. Ah, wait. No, so they decreased from +10 to +5, and then still the knowledge per hero. I mean, okay, that makes sense, season stability, though, again, if you're playing Dark, I don't think season stability actually even matters that much there, right? Or at least it was, like, weird that, like, why they even go with negative. A Ritual Mausoleum income change from, again, same thing here, I think they cut 50% of the mana, yeah, and now it's, like, plus stability. Yeah, I'm not sure I understand the context of plus stability change, but again, maybe this is for those who capture dark cities instead, and they want to take advantage. Anyway, Feudal Bannerman, Shooting Standard, increase cooldown. Oh, yeah, that thing was pretty good. Diplomacy. Oh, there's a lot of diplomacy. AI players will no longer allow the player to surrender as a vassal to them. I was playing campaign, so I never had the opportunity to exploit this. But yeah, AI players will no longer allow the player to surrender as a vassal to them if that means that either player or AI will have alliance with all living players and ally victories enabled. So part of this was just a super fast farming of the meta progression points there, and the AI players no longer will surrender as vassal to a player if their throne city is under siege. Instead, this now reduces the arm power requirement drastically to sieging. Will still affect the AI. But it still requires the sieging players to be stronger than AI. Alright, well that makes sense. It was weird that they just like prematurely surrender essentially. Added a relation breakdown support to the relation value shown as the first meet message as well as the tooltips and player shields. Okay. Added new and avoid first meet reactions. Added new and avoid depending on whenever a player is opposing avoid or both. Ah, like in the void, like if the leader is just in void, yeah, I guess. First meet friendly and hostile response are disabled if either roller is in a void. When war is declared, well, yeah, they're just fixing correct, like, they're like game mechanic essentially and lore. When war is declared, the opposing player is now also shown in the center of the screen, similar to first meet. Okay. Added a goodbye button to several states during training to allow you to exit out of the training battle world without having to go through the main diplomacy interface first. Okay. Added tooltips to mention of third players on information section diplomacy screen. Another player is denounced. Now allows you to inspect the player when hovering. Ah, there we go. Yeah, that was weird. Like, who another player? Yeah, exactly. I would like to know, and this should be public. Armies are now removed from outpost districts when war is declared, even if outpost was already occupied. This is now in line with the city logic. Ah. Fabricated greens are always worth 20 greens points instead of getting random value. Wait, they were random before? Wow. I didn't know that. Oof, a good thing they fixed that. I mean, I guess I got lucky before. I think I got 30 or 15. Added a max limit to how far trade cost of single trade items can stray from the original value. And yeah, there we go. This was ridiculous. Like, yeah, you have a good ally, like, yeah, let's exploit them with the training crappy, useless items. Increase the lower limit to how far trade discounts can change the trade value of single items. 45 to 40. Update the value of equipment trades. Make a value based on the actual sell cost of that. So, yeah, look at how much they're trying to change the economics of this exploit. Teleporter and province claim specs are now part of vassalage deal. Okay. Treaty broken, 15 turns and treaty created. Declaration modifiers now have a turn time, previously used to last indefinitely. Oops. Now exposing the exact alignment penalty for breaking treaties. No longer showing a declaration counter notification when a war is declared. Declaration countered. What? Removed incorrect mention of alignment penalty when trespassing. Okay. Some of these stuff are in multiplayer and custom games for sure, because that was not a problem for me. Empire. Affinity Imperium costs of tier 1 to tier 4 Empire development scheme just dipping into affinities was a little easier. Yeah. And cheaper than intended. This should ensure a need to prioritize their affinities and template the perfect multi-affinity builds. And there we go, yeah. This could counter some of my exploits too. Well, I mean, obviously, not just mine, but... Global. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 Empire skills increased Imperium cost by 50 Imperium. Empire skills. Increased Imperium cost by 50. Tier 4 is increased by 25. Wait, so they increased by 50 every single skill? Oof. Oh yeah, there was something like definitely wrong, especially considering how much you can get Imperium from the wonders and rewards, yeah, like that quest. You could just spam unlock most of these. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Tier 1 Empire skills increase accumulated affinity threshold from 7 to 30%. Usually, yeah, so you get one affinity, then it's, you know, gotta be very slow. You know, and then it's gonna get even more. Yeah, look at it, from 20 to... Wait, so it was 20, 40, and 80 before? Now it's 40, 60, 100, yeah. Well, the most drastic thing here is second and third skill, for sure. Especially second one. I mean, luckily, first skill is usually what you want to steal. There's not that many tier 2 skills that I remember from my memory. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Gotta invest into proper builds, you know, net. General skills. Oh yeah, I think they increased everything there too. Seafaring increased. Well, again, most maps don't need that. Though it's awkward without that skill, you can even, you know, put your units there. Excavation, increased Imperium cost. Come on, you already like need to incentivize people to invest into caves. And yeah, now there you can apparently get resources there, but like building in the caves right now is so bad. And in general, being there, the movement penalties and everything. So, yeah, that's quite a bit of a price increase. Road building is also the same. Diplomatic fuck. Well, I guess they're balancing it with this, like, threshold accumulation affinity. That being said, they didn't specify that the basic skills have the increased threshold, unless they're... The basic skills, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 is also the same. I mean, no, it's like... the basic ones have the combination, yeah, the general skills have the combined amount of the points, so I don't think they touch those. So yeah, just more Imperium. We'll unlock them still, but just more Imperium is needed. Diplomatic focus, advanced scrying, forced march, and a little bit of... Yeah, fine, whatever. More cost, cool. Astral, casting reserves, move from tier 1 to tier... What? Adaptive research from tier 3 to tier 2. Yeah, this one was like not actually that powerful. Astral Inspiration moved from tier 2 to tier 4. Oof. Surge spellcasting moved from tier 6 to tier 1. Wait, the Surge spellcasting is the one that allows you to combat... wait. Ah, man, I guess I could Google, but again, I need to be careful. I don't want to show anything that I should not. So if I go to browser right now, I'm like, I need to edit the video then. But yeah, Surge spellcasting feels like this ability that lets you use combat spells twice in one round, which is kind of crazy. So Astral, so the main gimmick of Astral is moved to tier 1, and casting reserves is moved to... Well, I mean, again, I might be wrong on some of these, like by memory, but... Well, again, double casting is expensive on mana and everything too, like a resource, and you want to have it on summons. Oh, by the way, now that they nerfed combat summons, isn't it? It's more like the game promotes actual summons, the permanent summons that you summon. So again, you would need most likely that mana and most importantly upkeep for the mana. Yeah, they nerfed all the common summon spells and abilities, but what about actual combats? I mean, the physical summons. And of course, they cannot nerf the army. How they intended to play the game, obviously, how it should be played. Impressment reduces upkeep reduction from... Aw, damn. Allure of the Horde, the reduced chance from... What? From 50 to 25? Was it needed, really? Skilled Raiders, reduce reward bonus from 50 to 20%! Wow! That is quite a nerf. Well, Chaos was busted, yeah, like, people were stacking these, like, reward bonuses and plus the cultural starting bonuses and all sorts of things. Yeah, it was like crazy. I haven't even played the proper Chaos build before this patch and everything and DLC, but yeah, I see now the streamers and YouTube videos. That's crazy. Tireless Marchers, increased cost reduction, damage reduction to 75. That's, I think this is like that allows you to bypass the like tired status after a forced march, I think. Increased cost reduction and damage reduction. So the damage that you take when you do the forced march, yeah, I think. Material, military engineering, change palisade walls to unlock the... Yeah, this is huge nerf right here. That is huge. That was such an easy thing to snipe early on and get free palisade walls, which will, by the way, the palisade walls was so annoying because like it's actually cost a lot of money and time, and essentially that prohibits you to quickly countering the outposts, and you need to siege them for several turns. It's ridiculous. So now we have a work camp. Again, it's a strong thing, but you can get punished for this, at least, unless you build walls. Military engineering, outpost cost reduction reduced from 50. Yeah, okay, well, I gotta be the one. If it's not obvious enough, that was busted. Yeah, such a crazy cheap discount. Metropolitan Society moved from tier 3 to tier 4. Sure, Warsmithing renamed to Arcane Artisans. Okay. Arcane Artisans grants 10 mana for mines. Moved to tier 3. Nah, okay, I see. I mean, that's good change for sure. Plus 10 mana is nothing to joke about, and mines is something that Material wants. Consolidated Industry moved from tier 2 to tier 6. I honestly forgot what that one is. Tier 2 Materium. What was that? I wonder. Well, as long as they don't nerf the, prospecting, which is a different thing here. I honestly don't remember what it is. That Master Masons move from tier 6 to tier 2. Is that the one that gives you that artifact or something? Again, I don't remember by memory everything on Materium here. Again, comments might help me on that one here. Indomitable defenders, but yeah, I feel like there's something maybe... I'm not like saying it's crazy nerf, but it could be crazy nerf. That industry from tier 2 to tier 6. I feel like if it was something irrelevant, but again, I might be wrong. It would be better if I had a game launched and I can compare stuff to, but that will require a little bit more effort too. Not saying I couldn't have done something like that. I mean, I could launch the game, and but it will. Well, I decided to make the pure like reading, like and scrolling, like text version. Of course, if I had more time and effort, I could have also edited properly and just to visually compare what is in the game and how it is. Whatever. Indomitable defense replaces with provincial architects, and that is special province improvements cost 25 less population, production, and gold. Sure. Again, I don't remember what this is, but at least they're trying to make something. I mean, this is actually good. Like, you need a discount on them, because honestly, I played most of my games without any special province spam. Nature, wild expansion reduces chance of summoning greater animal from... That was 6... Wait, so they get 60% on the greater animal? Of what? To 20. Okay, like, I mean, isn't the greater animal should be rarer to begin with? Wow, 60%? No longer triggers any extension wonders of soaping process. That was so bad. Such an... I actually thought that they fixed this exploit, by the way. But I guess not. After the Spiff and Brit video pre-launch. Druidic Care, mana income reduced from 5 to 3. That sucks too. Yeah, there's not gonna be a place without a nerf here, isn't it? Actually, no. Check this out: Nature, Shadow, Materium, Chaos, Astral. Which one is not nerfed? There's 6 of them, right? Astral, Chaos, Materium, Nature, Shadow. Which one is not mentioned here? So, Order. Ah, lol, Order. Yeah, Order. Ah, well, because most of their stuff is either relevant for your gameplay or... Yeah, it's really heavy focused on vassal stuff, and a lot of people don't know how to read or take advantage of vassal mechanics, so, you know, I could see why this is a problem. They didn't do any fix for Order. That's kind of actually hysterical. Yeah. Okay, let's read shadows here. Yeah, this was bullshit. Prime exploits. Like, I like how it's literally the first line of text here. Knowledge extraction changed from 50 per level to 150 per flat, which technically is a buff too. In some cases, there's these level 1, level 2, level 3 encounters in Wonders. But yeah, you cannot get like crazy 1,000, you know, for free out of nowhere by each time killing a high-level hero. Especially predominant campaigns. Well, probably less of that in scenarios, yeah. Realms. Also increased knowledge income from 10 to 15. Okay. Yeah, I mean, All Seeing wasn't that great. Death of Magic. Increased casting points gain... I think it's like you gain casting points when somebody dies, yeah. From tier 6? What the fuck? What do you guys move to tier 4 then? Court of Whispers. Isn't that the one that gives you like a stone and something there? Though I forget. Okay, well, Death Magic wasn't my favorite pick. Never needed that. Exalted by Shadows increased experience gain bonus. I think this was really expensive and nobody cared about it. It's like getting bonus for units, I think. Yeah, it looks crazy at the bottom, but again, this ability was not even... Oh, they also moved it to tier 9 now. And Dark Vigor is now moved to 7 instead. Yeah, like... Yeah, okay, I can actually understand. Like, if you remember my Shadow... I love Shadow, there's a lot of stuff, but... Like the knowledge extractions, maybe free stone and like some other ability there with the knowledge, and that's it. Like, I didn't need any map opening, like all this stuff. The final ability of Shadow is like... there's a lot of things you didn't really need. Shadow Domain, by the way, now additional grants cities 4+4 vision range. Now that actually kind of makes it better. Yeah, you see they're buffing dramatically all these abilities. That they definitely like underpowered those Shadow abilities there. Rite of the Crypt Blade. Oh yeah, that also I skip easily. It was such a skip. Crypt Blade is now free action attack. Ooh. Okay. Zombies are created with full action points now. Tier 4 items instead of... Okay, dude. Wait, why did they have to change tier of... I don't think you can get this weapon outside of, like, you know, the skill... Like, it's like exclusive. I don't think you can get it as a, like, random reward from Ancient Wonder. So why did they change tiers? Just to make it... Ah, maybe to make it more, like... So people will respect this item more or something. Right of Forbidden Knowledge. Knowledge gain increased. Yeah, sure. Yeah, again... At the end of the day, like, the amount of knowledge... Well, now that this is probably nerfed... Things cost a lot anyway, so who cares? Factions. Change society trade. Bonuses that gave +1 rank to all units of specific unit rolls to only give the bonus to all racial units of specific... What? Change society trade. Bonuses that gave +1 rank to all units of specific unit to only give a bonus to all the racial units. Wait, so they literally nerfed to they make it worse? Wait, that... I guess they're countering these, like, stress with abusing, like, ranks on tier 1 and, you know, cheap strategies like that. Wait, I'm trying to read this again. So it was, yeah, 1 rank. So, for example, 1 rank to all, like, support. Give bonus to all racial units. I think they just... So, yeah, was this trade before basically giving ranks to even other, like, ally... Like, I mean, all other factions? Or, I mean, correct way to say is cultures. Yeah, I guess that's what they're trying to say here. Well, I didn't really pay attention. Again, I was not a big fan of getting the +1 rank. There's a special, like, remember there's this meta unlock that gives you, like, +1 rank to tier 3 unit only, and it's like you get 1 tier unit to start, who cares? Well, actually, now that I nerfed all these summons and stuff, yeah, maybe that is slightly... But again, I mean, you know what I'm talking about, that thing is kind of ridiculously crippling here too. I think you lose, like, 2 CT slots, yeah, so that's pretty awful. Anyway, decreased HP bonus from exotic mount traits. Ah, there was HP bonus from exotic mount trait. I didn't even... I guess there was. I was just getting mounts, you know. And yeah, they I don't know if we're gonna get here, but it seems like they changed mounts dramatically. I heard that, like, a lot of... So before, like, the mounts were giving only to 1 or 2 units for the entire faction, aka the culture, but they added, like, to more... I don't know if they're gonna specify it here, but I think they added it to more units, and some of these units are disgusting. Like the again, we probably need to find it later there and see it also in the game which type of unit get them, because that's huge. Anyway, a Wonder Architect Society trade now used the correct icon. What? There was no correct icon? I guess... Ah, yeah, maybe there was, like, a copy-pasted icon. Wonder Architect Society trade. Well, okay, they didn't nerf that, thank god. Renamed Shadow Walkers back to Devious Watchers. Changed Melanis into a Wizard King. She was intended to be... Melanis! The Wizard King, she was intended to be... so she was not wizard? Whatever. Heroes, immortal champions and wizard kings now get their signature skills. What do you mean mortal champions? they're telling that they... So they're talking about heroes, yeah? Like, not leaders. Or they're talking about, like... If you get a hero that is actually Wizard King or Champion, like, you know, that if you have this an option there, like, you can get heroes. You can get your previous leaders and enemy leaders as in a mission that is going to be here instead. Or it's global. So if they made signature skills for heroes earlier, goddamn, maybe it's to make it like, you know, so that normies and casual players can appreciate more, you know, kind of like instead of stacking like leader and heroes in one part, instead of like they're promoting still creating multiple parties, separating them, and you know, gotta get faster levels and get the signature skills. Either that, or I misunderstand and they're just talking about this very specific thing where, like, in the settings of your Pantheon, you can click previous ascended leaders to be... You can meet them as heroes, like, and I guess they're gonna be quote-unquote mortal. Maybe I'm misunderstanding this one. Racial heroes now get their culture hero skill by default. Yeah, there we go. Come on, man. That was like not before. That was so weird. If you load a save where such a hero was his wasted skill point buying, it will be refunded. No, the Dragon Lords and Wizard Kings still need to buy his skills. Yeah. Hero skill spur to action no longer works in heroes. Oh, that's a huge nerf. I heard about that one. Yeah, that's huge nerf. Cannot make some crazy memes with, you know, spur to action on the heroes. Hero item, spider matter, leg. Now only grants... Wait, what? What do you mean now on? Ah, they... Okay, I get it. So there was like tier 3, tier 4, and people always want tier 4 because it's slightly better. Okay. Also, why it's in the hero tab anyway? It's like hero item. Pantheon leaders recruited as heroes in other games can no longer be animated. Huh? Pantheon leaders recruited as heroes in other games can no longer be animated. They were animated? I don't understand that. Anyway, interface. The game now prioritizes certain fonts depending on the set language. This fixed incorrect glyphs in Japanese language. Added color coding and different properties. Added color coding for the different properties of the unit panel. Yes! Added an X and previous button to the hero panel. Yes! Wait, this should be quality of life. Seriously, these are so good. This is one of my most requested feature. Hero panel screen next. This should be in the quality of life, no? But yeah, interface is technically correct too. Buttons for cycling through cities. Yeah, PC exposition. Added duration pins for operations on a world map. Duration pins for operations. Ah, I think I get what they're talking about, yeah. It's like when you zoom out completely, I think that's gonna be numbers or something. Allowing the selection of allied reinforcements in the combat. Yes! That was such a weird, unintended mechanic. Yeah, allowing the selection of allied reinforcements in the combat enter screen. Yes. Added notification which tells the player one of their pawns is being pillaged. Oh yeah, so there was a notification for that. True. Yeah. People probably figure by multiplayer games mostly. I rarely even let... I think the only time somebody was pillaging is like... There was independent AI in the final mission of a campaign, and they were like kind of going... They were pillaging and then they were going out and then returning, so it's kind of derpy. Added a notification which reminds the players one of their pillage problems can be repaired. Nice. Added notification which reminds players that one of their heroes has a signature skill available. Ah, yeah. I was also sometimes forgetting about that, but I will eventually catch that up. Yeah. This is actually a funny one. Advanced setup is no longer possible to disable teams for 1 versus games. Hey, multiplayer. Well, to be fair, I probably should skip multiplayer because it was not my focus of content, and again, I knew that there's quite a bit of issues. Yeah, look at this. Improvements and out-of-sync fixes. This is like out-of-fix things. Holy crap. Added, but let's read this. Added indicator when queuing order failed during sim turns multiplayer matches. Added DLC and mod information for session. Mod conflict. Did multiplayer lobby to fix AI ruler selection. Yeah, I'm gonna be skipping that. Oh man, we're gonna have tomes. Oh yeah, good luck getting that now too. Onboarding. What is onboarding? Ensure the free CT available for registration advice would... Ah, that is an annoying notification that comes. Ah, do you know that your free city can be your outpost can be upgraded to city? By the way, I guess they didn't fix this one. Free city available for negotiation advice would not show for free city that are actually not available for negotiations. Both low food and low stability advice. Wow, who is gonna have low food and low stability but not trigger properly? Tomes, astral, amplification. Amplifiers no longer allow units to keep firing after the first shot kills the enemy. Wait, what? Excuse me? Wait, what is that even? Isn't amplification is just a damage buff or something? Amplified arrows no longer allows units to keep firing after the first shot. Ah, maybe. Wait, actually, no, wait. I think this is error that is chain lightning effect on it, I think. Yeah, I guess there was like a damage exploit with this or something. Again, I need to see the context of the spell. Astral Mirror. Mirror Veil is now permanent like any other unit enchant. Ha! It wasn't permanent? Wait, how the hell that was not permanent? What? Archmage. Maximize magic. Change from 100% crit chance to... Ah, so... Wait, I didn't even realize there was such an exploit apparently. So because of the formula, 100% crit chance meaning that you could hit with 5%. Yeah, I noticed that behavior too, because I was like, when I was shooting through like low, when bush computer likes to hide in a cover and the bushes, and when I was getting lucky crit, it was guaranteed to hit all 3 shots, for example. Yeah, there we go. That was a crazy exploit. Chaos Horde. Houndmaster decrease hit points. Whoa, damn, that is a lot of HP lost. Warhound decreased hit points. Oof. Chaos Channel. Wait, that's all the nerfs from Chaos? I thought there's gonna be more. Channel and Fan Inferno is now Battlefield Wild. Spell deals 5 damage to plus burning. Chaos Channeling, huh? It's the name of the tome. I'm not sure. Is it like a late game one? Battlefield Wild spell. Well, I mean, if it's... Is it gonna be doing damage to my units too? Plus burning. Okay, I will check that in game, I guess, but yeah, I'm not sure what changed here really. Materium, Crucible, Lava Burst, reduced damage from 40 to 30. Dude, there's not even that many actual damage spells that do good damage. Now they're fixing that. Sure, nature. Oh, there we go. Roots. They ruined the spell in this update. Spoiler: there's a hotfix which did something else to this spell. Roots. Living vines from Vine Prison and Vine Fortress can no longer get a enchantments. Yeah. Only lasts for 1 turn in combat. That is, they literally murdered this spell. 1 combat turn. What the hell? Have their AI target priority greatly reduced, decreasing chance of AI targeting. Yeah, well, Roots, apparently, I didn't even use it that much, if anything. That was one of the most exploitative spells ever, like putting so many free units, vines, and surrounding a unit, and their permanent AI targets them, waste turns. It uses the abilities against them. It's just, this is a cheap spell, and it's easy to access. I didn't even realize how crazy this is. Glades. Leaf skin transformation now grants +1 reason to addition to other effects. Okay, well, that's great. Order Zeal. Zealot. Decrease physical damage from 1. Shadow. Rebalance of Soul's economy. Fallen chains should result in the higher generals. So people were not happy apparently with soul generation. Well, I never had that problem because I was dominating all the time, but I guess people were just liking to use these soul-based spells, and they wanted more, gain even more soul when investing. Soul necromancer tones increase the soul harvest. Yeah, so they proportionally just gonna increase everything here. Skeleton and Bone now have a low maintenance. Yeah, that is a mana unit, so screw that. I think even still it's maybe not worth it. Replace, I guess you're desperate for skeletons. Yeah. Replace Soulbind Army with a Sustain World Spell Soul Collection. Sure. Sustain World Spell, by the way, holy crap. Soul Collection plus 6 soul income and 30 gold upkeep. 30 gold upkeep. Soulfire, change from casting costs from 10 to... Okay, this is huge. Pay attention. So this Soulfire was a really good spell to... So you were basically not paying mana for it, but paying souls as a secondary. So people were... I mean, developers thought it's an exploit. Okay, you need to spend mana. Sorry, it's a good spell. Soulfire. Yeah, well, rip. It's gonna be mana now. Soul Overflow, max HP buff no longer stacks with itself. Wait, it was stacking with this? Oh, Jesus. I guess I've seen it, but, like, I mean, I was using Soulfire and Soul Overflow so much, but I guess I was just, like, using it once as it intended. Tome of Necromancer. Necromancer, reduced soul cost. Wait, so... From 50 souls to 70 gold and 20... So now it costs gold? Instead of no gold? Ah, it's a unit that you can order in the city, yeah, too. Added this summon Corrupt Soul spell. Corrupt Soul is now undead, has low maintenance. Summon Corrupt Soul? And again, does it specify about 3 turns? No, well, I mean, it's a summon. It's not combat summon, it's like actual unit. It's now in Corrupt Soul. What is Corrupt Soul again? Was initially... Is it like a phantasmal unit or something like... Rotting Explosion, reduced casting cost from 15 mana, casting points to 10 casting points. Sure. Grade of Transformation, Wyvern Transformation, change the casting cost from 200, 300 mana and 100 soul. Yeah, so they're trying to make it more... I mean, I never had problem with souls, but again, it was just me. Units. Oh, here we come. Here we come, guys. This is gonna be crazy. Oh, nice music, by the way. My title music of Planetfall right now playing. Giants got Unstoppable Juggernaut, can destroy non-fortified... Oh yeah, these non-fortified obstacles. You need to hold the Alt button, and like a lot of people actually don't even realize that you can interact with some of the environment and destroy that, and a lot of times it's like, yeah. Ghost Shop is now ethereal and undead. Yeah, I never seen these ghost shops, but I guess it makes sense. These units now have Juggernaut, can destroy non-fortified obstacle by walking. So there's a Juggernaut and Unstoppable Juggernaut without slowing down. Karath makes sense, all the Del Dragons, and one Scorch, Kraken. Well, super huge units, obviously. But I mean, honestly, some of these units probably could use Unstoppable Juggernaut too. The following units are now permanently mounted. Permanently mounted, guys. Mystic Spellbreaker is a mounted unit. Are you kidding me, dude? Permanently mounted. Just the context here of what that means. Houndmaster, which again is nerfed, but mounted. Wild Speaker, mounted. Wow. Mystic Spellbreaker, permanently mounted. So you don't even need... I think Mystic Spellbreaker was... it's a part of the exotic mount. And here we go. Following units are now mounted if you have exotic mount property. And this just blows my mind. They actually... So they saw, I guess, spider meta and other things, you know, unicorn meta, the nightmares. Let's just give people more units that get exotic mounts. Barbarian Warrior, mount. Dark Pursuer, mount. Feudal Defender, mount. High Dawn Defender, mount. Industrial Marksman, Archer, mount. Mystic Spell Shield, ooh, it's the one that stuns, yeah. Glade Runner. Okay, dude. Glade Runner. Glade Runner. The Glade Runner got exotic mounts. Wow. Zephyr archers are crying. There was always this tied balance between those two units. They're relatively similar to get in terms of power, tome, and valor. I did crazy build with Zephyr archers. You can also do crazy build with glades. In fact, some people say the glades were even better, which probably makes sense because having that evasion penalty and the tracking essentially. They're gonna have now mounts. Oh yeah. Well, again, having units, enchanting them, still is how Age of Wonders works. White Witch. What the hell is White Witch again? It's wait, is this even it's a spellbook unit, yeah, similar to Glade Runner. Well, I mean, yeah, the White Witch is like situational, yeah. I mean, the power level of units, like imagine Glade Runner is just one of those like units that easily, like, if you feed the metals, feed the enchantments, they just go so crazy. Again, just a casual reminder, ranged is always going to be superior in these type of tactical games against AI, essentially. So of course, yeah, Evoker also too. Jesus, that is crazy. Other changes added. Also, just a point of case. I know I'm slow and I'm commenting a lot myself too, but we're 1 hour 6 minutes into this video. Okay, and we haven't even started part 2 yet. And there's a roadmap. Added a new optional cavalry tag to the unit panel for units that became mounted if the race has... Yeah, there we go. This is like... this was not annoying, correct way to say it. It's like it was a hidden feature of those who actually understand and pay attention. This will be now visible in the unit panel encyclopedia, yeah, on optional cavalry. So they're basically trying to promote people taking exotic. So yeah, when you start your faction, yeah, and aka the culture, yeah, you consider which units are going to be in the mounted, and of course, why would you not take mount anyway? Like, there's a shitty passive so you can take instead and take mount. And on top of the existing already mounts like scouts and what's now the tier 3 unit. Or was it? Nightmare gained vicious killer passive. Whoa! Nightmare increased defense from 2 to 3, which is nice to tank. Nightmare mount trait gives vicious killer to mounted units. Nightmare mount trait gives vicious killer to mounted units. Holy shit! Yeah, this is why people were saying that morale meta is now. Forget about spiders, they probably got fixed. I think they got fixed in the previous, like, before this update, there was like a... I think the reason why spider AoE was so strong, it was shotgunning, like, an intentional double damage there, somehow. I don't know if they fixed here or in the previous some hotfix before this update. But yeah, Nightmare is a serious contender for some meme. If I go to YouTube, I probably find some current, update DLC. Peter's like, the best builds! It's gonna be Nightmare in the thumbnail there. World map. Building victory structures will explore location of the structure and all other players instead of giving vision. This still triggers... so yeah, instead of like spoiler vision, I guess. Building victory structure will explore location. This still triggers a meet event for players that haven't met owner of victory structure yet. Outpost teleporter upgrade logic has been changed. You now choose the teleport improvement when annexing province using the outpost core camp, or change the existing improvement into teleport as long as the teleport infrastructure empire trait has been unlocked. Yeah, I'm not sure I can comment on that because I actually never used teleporters, believe it or not. I was dominating all my campaign missions, like, I was essentially guarded by the turn 30, if not earlier, and you know, in some of the campaign missions I went are a full-on astral build, which turned out to be having really broken movement spells, and I could travel, teleport, and like my main teams and everything. So I didn't even need teleports or anything. I was just like, I could literally teleport my main hero that could solo everything anywhere. It was fun. And yeah, I was using multi copies. Like there's a spell which they didn't nerf, but yeah. But oh yeah, that would be weird if you cast a copy. You cast a copy and it's like 3 turns or something. I have to think about it. Did they nerf? Maybe I didn't pay attention. Mirror Wheel Experiment. Yeah, the spell still is there. Well, I mean, that's probably the main gimmick of choosing that tome to begin with. You don't want to like over nerf, because like they over nerf the wine spell, and basically wine tome is shit now completely. Like, why would you even take it there? Like, with real talk. So yeah, the mirror copying, the, you know, insane spell and super fun. And besides, they fix like spur to action and what's not. Yeah. So yeah, let's continue reading. If you attack through the underground passage, the reinforcement rule is now disabled. It's always one. Oh yeah, this was actually bothering me a bit. This is how it was in previous games. So why it was in like this in Age of Wonders 4? Yeah, yeah, just 1v1. If somebody's blocking the way, you gotta fight it like that. If you pillage a province or free city, they will now wait a while before rebuilding it. Ah, yeah, the people are exploiting it. Pillaging and well, and also the exploit about, you know, capturing, and you need to go engaging the war and capturing and freeing them and everything. That was like crazy. Well, it's now nerfed, of course, because of the knowledge extraction thing and a few other things nerfed. Resource gain, but still, you need to read the previous patches to understand the context of what I'm saying. Change text of existing Ancient Wonders events to fit the more bespoke names. Fair enough. Castle Ruins Ancient Wonder has received entirely new combat map. Yeah, Castle Ruins were kind of like... Honestly, that Ancient Wonder didn't really feel like Ancient Wonder. It was more like a... Well... Yeah, it's like, you know, like some ragtag team of bandits like taking control, like in some kind of, I don't know, stone. If you play Stone Shard, there's these ruins, yeah, and bandits and chilling. Yeah, it needs to be like a more epic. I don't know what they did there, but probably maybe more, or also it was like a different perspective of the map. Maybe they make it bigger map because it was kind of cramped, and I was not a. It was. It doesn't, you know, fit the vibe of the Ancient Wonder, if you know what I mean. Modding. I think I should skip that because I'm not a modder and I'm not using anything here. Fixes. Well, fixes, let's go. Yeah. Slowdowns at the start of the new realm has been decreased in severity by fixing bottleneck with updating the main borders every time placing diggable earth during the last stages of RMG, which could sometimes result in a crash. Wow, that's a really specific fix. Multiple crashes for starting game when you're missing specific leader data due to disabling DLC or mods. Fixed an issue where shadows were displayed incorrectly when playing on... well, yeah, lowest shadow setting. Fixed an issue where if player would receive multiple combat to completion notification, it will cause the AI state combat results screen would no longer be closed. Added mitigation for crash that concurrent closing and opening tooltips. Yeah, I think I had that in my live stream. Added retry option when out of memory is reached. Retry? Out of memory? Well, that's never gonna happen in my PC. But yeah, this is interesting. Usually when out of memory, like everything just crashes and just super bad generally. Fix the crash that's cool, and not mentioning all stuff in the Windows will start being glitchy. Fix the crash that occur when generating Pantheon Heroes. Generating Pantheon Heroes? Like in a map? Like the one that you used? Fix the crash combat result that would happen because a newly created hero unit was trying to manipulate relations before they were initiated. Newly created hero units trying to... What the hell? Fix the crash that would happen when a player was defeated while one of the heroes was still eroding and was governor of one of the cities. Very specific things. Fix the crash that would on a vassalizing a city if they were off-map heroes belong to a ruler. Fix the crash would occur during the removal of duplicate races. Fix the crash would occur due to roll pointer in the UI. Province borders, the color missing, removed due to mods. Fix the crash that occurred nested tooltips and the parent tooltip got updated. Fix the crash that occurred in figure formation. Fix the crash that occurred. It's also, yeah, it's really hot still. You know, I'm talking a lot, so that's why I'm like doing that sound effect. Need more water. But yeah, also I'm not really like doing gaming, and just background music is there, but usually I have a game running. So again, I'm just saying, like, if you hear that more often than that, I mean, I'm just human here talking non-stop for like I didn't do any pause. I'm still here. I'm glued to this stupid screen of part 1 patch notes. Jesus. Fix the softlock that occur when a multiple combat results screen would queue. Huh. Fix the faction saving deleting issues on PlayStation 5. AI. Well, that could be... Oh my god. How many fucking... Oh no. Okay, we're actually getting close to the end. Fixed an issue where vassals that play AI cities would not send attack armies and support patrolling stacks. Yeah, fixed an issue where AI would get racial transformation while they were not allowed to. What? Cheating? Fixed issue where campaign-specific personality traits would get automatically assigned to rulers. Fixed an issue where free cities would still think they were in war while they lost in their capital at some occasion. Fixed issue where the free city would not defend their domain. Yeah, that was, I think, happening with me. Fixed the issue of AI missions, keeping them from pillaging. Ah, yeah, these mission spawns. Diplomacy. Fixed crash caused by AI not properly storing, validating recruit unit from rally religious missions. Wait, the computer have rally with allegiance? Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, of course they do. They constantly exploit the units there. Fixed issue of AI would pick the personality-based diplomacy pose over the one set in the faction preset. Who cares? Fixed crash that would happen in the East vassalized check when using and rulers would not crash on free cities. Where equipment items could be added multiple times to the same trade. In human versus human trading. Ooh, wow. More exploits with items. Fixed issue where Whispering Stones would not get removed from Mount City when owner's site has changed. This could cause a crash and could also cause the player not be able to withdraw that. Yeah. I think some people in my chat were saying about that. Don't think it happened to me, but yeah. Fixed an error that would occur in buying equipment from AI player and trading. Is it like in multiplayer or something? Fixed an error that would occur in buying equipment from AI. No, it's just in general. Fixed issue where players would sometimes incorrectly receive alignment penalties for breaking treaties when the war declared them instead of war declared. Fixed several issues where the state of diplomacy trade screen could be wrong or viewing declined trade while there's already a new proposal making counteroffer making... Okay, this is silly. Fixed issue where AI rulers would still show foreshadowing message as a opportunity to improve the relationship, but that will degrade soon while their leader is still natural words. Ah! Yeah, okay. Fixed an issue where the 5-turn delay for declaring war in free city would not be applied when the vassalizing city having vassal city. Fixed issue where having negative alliances with Whispering Stone could cause the stone to become lost. Wait, really? Fixed issue where having negative alliance and then ending the... Wow, okay. Fixed issue where trades would sometimes incorrectly fail. Cost more than half the resources of the offering. Events. Fixed issue where quest events would not be removed immediately if the quest had failed. Fixed crash that would happen if the story event was removed. By the way, keep in mind that I personally never experienced any crashes after the initial day 1 patch, and I also installed the new drivers. Like, yeah, there was like in a final mission of story, there was like this weird thing and crashes, but it was maybe because like too much stuff on the screen, overloaded, and big map. Yeah, it was a couple crashes there, but there was absolutely nothing. But yeah, optimization-wise, it was... I was really scared for release on Age of Wonders 4, but they... wow. It was definitely one of the stronger points too in the game. Anyway, let's continue. Extension precision generation for kill quest. Objective would not fail quest spawning correctly and could cause a crash. Fixed issue where the kill quest objective will not correctly filter out water only units and therefore fail to spawn. Fixed crash in quests where converting outposts into city. Fixed issue where story events would not spawn under specific conditions, cause the players not be able to finish receive campaign related story events, preventing them from completing Wow. Wow, that's rare, I guess. Fixed issue where certain campaign quests would not spawn if it requires specific resource. Note that only existence owned provinces. Ha! Fixed issue where the story event buttons would not be hidden correctly due to the issue of storing the button order. Fixed clarity of rebel without a cause event. Rebel without a cause, well, I guess it's like when it's a very low stability, which I never had. Fixed the wrong ruler for showing a meteor defeated event. Yeah, actually I was confused at that, yeah, when I was doing this mission. Fixed issue where the undefeated player, another player's script event trigger before the player was marked as defeated in specific instances. This caused the action war quest not to complete and end the game correctly. Faction creation. Form traits should now have correct values in game. Wait, what? Form yeah, come to think about it, I think I noticed it like once and I thought it's just some glitch. Yeah, fixed Ruthless Raiders correctly rewarding hero kills. So that was, they showed that. Rituals Cannibals now correctly rewarding hero kills. Battlefield looting correctly rewarding tier 5 unit kills. Fixed edited heroes not having their data due to requesting the same already used in the file name. By the way, did they fix these level 1 heroes from the undead, like Ancient Wonders? I don't think they... or maybe... yeah, that's gonna be like literally below there. There's a hero tab. Fixed the issue where custom titles are changed pronouns. They'll be reset as soon as you enter the game. Sage. Heroes... fixed heroes no longer give their intended reward per level, but just once for all kill. If a hero kill reward is equal to tier 5 and fixed hero counted updating when hero gets captured in battle. Yeah, fixed issue where recruit heroes who are originally from... they have it. Dude, you see, I played the game. I experienced bugs and I was like... the thing that I saw, yeah, that remained in my brain. Yeah, look at that. You couldn't even make this up. I literally just, before even getting to that point, it's pre-recorded. Yeah, like I read this before. Damn, son. There we go. Interface fixes. Oh, wait, this could be actually quality of life too. Fix the order of which prospecting areas are displayed in interface. Fixed issue where certain trade requirements would no longer show required values. Fixed combat handicap advantage not showing the single player settings. Fixed duplicate realm selving bug. Fixed realm settings for locking after posting multiplayer game. Fixed tutorial to device saying it can be dismissed from device history when it can't. Here trays now respect their display in unit panel flag. Fixed visitor can raise transformation conflict pop-up displaying the wrong text and correctly displays conflicts. Fixed tension of Earth wrongly showing up ability modifiers. Fixed income breakdown on the province improvement screen. Huh. Okay. Fixed issues with the player count when using presence traits. Fixed custom realm portrait result. Yeah, there we go. Fixed the quick start allowing you to go to a maximum session cap. Fixed stone voiceover continue to play after closing. Yeah, that was kind of creepy. Fixed top bar Imperium income color not correctly refreshing when the word is declared. Fixed glitch that allows player to change the control type presence. What? Controller type of the presence trait ruler? What? Fixed issue where the relation errors would be shown on the ruler shields in the top bar for human players. Fixed issue where trade interest interesting will be shown for humans. Double C, fixed the double percent in lure for the Horde Empire skill. Nah, yeah, that was, well, just text. Fixed for the city banner not being properly refreshed when you rush production for the unit queue. Oh, yeah. Beacon of unity now use the correct icon. Fixed issue where the shields in the top bar would still show the relation icons when the ruler was defeated. Broken tooltip for ritual alacrity. Alacrity. Ah, yeah, remember I was like looking at the ritual and I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? There we go. Fix that Annex Province button would appear in the outpost screen when you're currently doing action outposts, so you can fix the crash where you can have a special province improvement placed on screen and you click on the top bar button. Diplomacy screen UI now shows active pronouncements. Nice, dude, that's good. Fixed army banners now disabling in combat. Huh. Yeah, where is the, by the way, this thing where like did they not edit the kill like in the battles AoE abilities showing you the percents and status conditions? Is there engine not allowing that or something? Because that's kind of like super important. Or maybe that was already added and I kind of like misread something that actually is that. Anyway, this is it. This is part 1. Chat, we did it. Also, wow, there's such a difference in apples. Yeah, that was part 1. Spoiler alert, part 2 is actually very small, luckily. So, but yeah, it's still ridiculous that there's apparently space limit. I mean, the symbol limit, you know. Controller. Don't care, but controller is nice. Onboarding. Fix the bug where the battle tutorial quest would not automatically complete if you had already fought a battle before getting to the Pantheon meta system. Fix the issue where one of the artisan kings would not correctly link in the front end. The right of allegiance and might make right scripts would give allegiance relationship even if... Wait. Give allegiance to relations even if the player was in war with the free city as the city was under siege and currently occupied, which led to invalid behavior. Huh. Well, it's a very specific. Crystal Desert map preset no longer spawns 6 hex grasslands in the middle of uninhabitable desert prompt. I never even played that, but yeah, okay. Fixed the rare bug where Pantheon leaders show up as heroes while you're playing as that leader. Okay. Fixed crash in city spells now. It's also fixes still. Fixes crash in city targeting spells when a city is owned by marauders. Oof. Fix the crash that would happen when declaring war through casting hostile spell. Fix several issues where spellcasting would not properly take into account vassalage rules and accrue diplomatic states. Fix the issue where marching winter spell was incorrectly marked as hostile. Oh, really? Fixed issue where consecrated domain spell is incorrectly hostile. Oh, consecrated domain transmit resource cycle of season fortress of vines. Can only be used in friendly cities than intended. Ah, yeah, okay. Abyssal flames and paraglide get rushed now properly damage and conceal units. Ah, yeah, that. So wait, they were not doing damage to conceal units. These are like Giga AoE province like abilities from what I remember. Ascended warriors can now trigger evolution on higher tier units. Not sure what Ascended warriors, but probably some good spell. Fixed tectonic shatter spell not actually destroying hollow obstacles on the map, but instead adding empty comets enchant. Wait, that was not even working? This was so expensive thing and like... Wait, tectonic shatter was not even doing stuff? Oof. Okay, wow. Tomes, fixed incorrect unlock getting for Gardening or Bliss and Tom Paradise. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. I mean, I know what the spell, but like I never... It's also, it's also like these, you know, provinces and shit. And buildings, I I haven't got a chance to experience a lot of them. One moment, I need some extra water and getting a ridiculous amount of talking here. I know I'm trained, I've been streaming for, you know, 12 years. But even... You know... Humans have limits. Luckily I have water nearby. So I don't have to pause the recording and all that. Alright, there we go. Allure of the Horde now give units while the combat took place in the water. X, okay. Necrotic Spires now mention they heal temporary HP instead of normal HP. Hey, let's go. Yeah, Necrotic Spires, like... Does anybody even really use them as a like value thing? Such an overkill. Anyway, units. Caustic Worms can now correctly use unit enchantments. Wait, Caustic Worms were not enchanted before? Oh my god. Our Shatter Engine unit Shatter the Earth ability has been fixed so they show up again in the unit's ability bar. Ah, there we go. Yeah, I was memeing with the Shatter Engine thing, and that was so weird and underwhelming. And yeah, they had this ability bug to fix the bug where tower units didn't properly get their immunities, so they could bleed and have their other effects that didn't make sense to them. Yeah, I think I seen that a little bit. Fixed bug where spiderwebs were... Yeah, so that... Oh, wow, holy shit, you can just literally miss that bug fix. Like, I mean, this... Honestly, this felt like... I mean, combat... Why not to write this in the combat change or something? Like, make it like a... But I guess it's a bug, yeah, so it was a bug, so that's why they put it here. So spiderwebs would do double damage. Just like that, yeah. World map. Fix the bug in continent map generation where a player would not be connected to anyone else. Yeah, you know what? I actually watched a streamer who had that problem once. Fix the bug where multiple realms traits that gave units minor transformation would override each other rather than combine. Ooh, abuse. All rip. Now it's harder. Fix the bug where you could start an underground without having a free city of your race nearby. Wait, what? Fix the bug where you could start an under... Dude, the cave's already suffering and you guys like... Alright, hopefully it's fixed. Fixed issue where transfer captured heroes code was being called when creating team games could trigger issues with notifications. Fixed vision proper to listener issue were caused by an order in which provinces update their order, which caused the listener to be registered and registered incorrectly, which crashed the game. Crash caused that happened because of the order in which heroes are activated. This would attempt to add relation modifiers based on affinities before the relation was like this stuff. It's like they're talking, so like their code, they're like literally just talking about how they program some stuff and how it works. But I guess it's useful for modders to understand how to, you know, not create crashes maybe. Throne City now still needs to be sieged if the throne is the only fortification left. Wait, what? Throne City now still needs to be sieged. Wait, so throne... So they're telling you that there's... Wait, you're telling me that Throne City can have no fortifications? Well, I guess it's like when some player on PvP decides to build Throne City somewhere else and it's like strat. But yeah, it seems like you cannot cheese the Throne Cities anymore. That's... Okay, cool. How strong the fortification that is then. Fixed issues when siege stacks losing in a combat outside of the siege area. Wait, that was happening? Fixed the multiple crashes when siege becomes invalid. Fixed having the besiege on seed after integrating it with an enemy. Oh yeah, I literally had that bug somehow. You remember probably if you watched everything. Fixed having to besiege your own city after... I could siege my own outpost and... I don't know what exactly it triggered. I don't think there was like enemy army or something that... Or maybe it was because of that. Yeah, it was funny. Fix the crash that would happen on raising structure and zooming out of the... What? Fixed issue where the city map penalties would not be applied and the player has 4 or more city beyond the city cap. Wait, fixed issue where city cap penalties would not be applied if the player has 4 or more cities beyond. Wow, people were actually capturing so many cities, like, so I guess developers were not even predicting that this, I mean, like, this is like insanity, yeah? Having so much over the cap. Most games should end by then and all that. Or you're not supposed to take these cities. Fixed issue, I don't even know what at that point you're gonna have, but like, everything negative, like, what is this even? A fixed issue where Russell's immigrated city at that point in time used to be free city, would revert city back to original race of the free city. Instead, it will not generate a new free city over the city. It's kind of confusing to read that, but I luckily understand that. Fixed magic with your spells losing their effect when reloading that game. What? That was the thing? Wow. Outpost of... Imagine being salty, like preparing it and then reloading and then... Outpost upkeep is not correctly removed from outpost is not... Outpost upkeep is not correctly removed when outpost is converted to city? Wait, that was a problem? So outpost upkeep was still eating? Oof. Fixed issue where city would still be under siege for 1 turn when the vessel is in conquer city. This would block certain interaction like a Simon Whispering Stone. What the fuck? Fixed outpost counting as cities. The following bonuses: Imperialist, Perfectionist, Artisans. Oh. 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 Yeah, I think it's like a minor thing, but I think I understand where this is going. Yeah, so you can basically attach some kind of like a resource to outpost that is like mana or gold, and you can perhaps get some minor economy boost from this. Fixed. Outpost losing population when... Wait, what? Fixed outpost losing population when food income is low. Outpost losing population? What are you smoking? Still here? Okay, be first to win abandon when we abandon game dev and launch our TikTok career. That's funny. Alright, that is the whole... By the way, this is free update. So, for the context, the game got a major update, which is like, you know, free. It's everyone, yeah. And then the DLC. So what I just described is not even... So if you want to learn what DLC is, there's an entire, you know, page for this and developer blog. Yeah, like if you go here, there we go, release, and you can like dev diary. There's like all this stuff here, new terms. This is going to be exciting to analyze an actual gameplay here. All right, now the roadmap, dev diary number 20. And this is super exciting. Check this out. Check this out. Hi there, after release of Dragon Dawn content pack and associated with a Wyvern update, it's time to look ahead. I am Leonard Sass, game director of Age of Wonders series. Today we're sharing our roadmap for this year, highlighting the free updates in store. In this development diary we will delve deeper into our plans, show what we have coming up, and be reasoning behind it. Look at this picture and memorize this. So you know how Age of Wonders 4 currently have some minor issues with like content on a grand scheme of things compared to Age of Wonders 2 and 3 and with expansions, of course. Well, check this out. Wyvern update, free update happened. Stability, multiplayer, quality of life, broad balance pass, diplomacy fixes, standalone faction creator option. What the hell is standalone faction creator? Like, isn't it this? Well, okay, you can create faction as not part of the realm. I get it. But then again, isn't when you're creating your quote-unquote faction, it's still saved in the list, so like... it's okay. By the way, it's just me or these pictures are like constellations and stuff here? I think they're constellations, yeah. Watcher update. Yeah, I think... well, maybe this is like a roadmap, kind of like symbolism. Anyway, so free updates this summer. Major AI update. So improvement on AI, that's huge. Research and Empire buildings. Some more buildings. Gameplay. Again, there's a lot of buildings already, but I mean, we can always expand on that. Magic Vicar Flow. Not sure what that means, but I guess like something about that. Underground map. So they're intending to improve on one of the weakest part of the game, underground. And here comes the Golem update, which is another free update. And then they're gonna supplement it with Empire in Ashes expansion, which is gonna be, by the way... So the game have 4 DLCs in the season pass, yeah? This Dragon Dawn is a smaller DLC. The Empire in Ashes is gonna be the first, quote-unquote, proper big expansion. And then the final 4th one is also gonna be the second proper big expansion. So this is huge. Q4 planned, and yeah, so this is gonna be like insane big update. New item forge system, so Age of Wonders 3, everyone! War coordination. So I guess it's like a manipulating conditions for war or something, you know, like... I don't know. I mean, they already can do some basic stuff with that. So I'm not sure what that implies here. Faction balance and identity. Faction balance and identity. So they have more plans. So with more, so this big expansion is gonna introduce, you know, even more like base content. Yeah, it's the you know, like when you create faction. So I guess they're gonna, with more factions being, I mean, like by faction I mean culture and just taking your skin and all these options. Yeah, so it's gonna be I guess what they're trying to say is that they will have enough of them in the game to determine like more proper roles for each. Even though, I mean, you can already kind of tell what kind of role is. Obviously, you have, well, the game have 6 elements, like most old school ones, 6 choices. Yeah, so it's like most of them. But yeah, you can tell that, for example, barbarians, yeah, they have like nature and the chaos. There's no like pure chaos, I guess, quote unquote, faction. So there's still like some maybe stuff that's missing in there, but anyway, now let's read explanations. Fan focus. Age of Wonders 4 had exceptional launch, yeah, like record sales, critical acclaim. This game triumphed most ambitious and complex to day of, and yeah, it's super fun and beautiful to look at, and good job. Offering more systems customization options to ever be before. Our goal extends beyond providing fun experience for role players and thinkers. We aim to cater to power gamers, strategy connoisseur, modders, and multiple fans. I mean, you probably want to cater to casuals and normies too. Like, I know you're trying to please it. Like, again, this kind of messages, I understand they're trying to, you know, say thank you to their dear community, but I don't know. I would, like, basically by creating good content, creating good game, you're already catering to quote unquote power gamers, I guess, or whatever. But then, yeah, power gamers got nerfed, a lot of exploits in this thing. Foundations. Our initial focus was to improve core tech for stability, performance, multiplayer. Recent Wyvern update made significant progress. Future patches will increase stability. Major AI updates. It's a symmetrical strategy game like ours. AI play a vital role. We've been working tirelessly to enhance its performance, making it more proactive and general and proficient in various subsystems. This summer, Watcher update will prioritize major AI improvements. Due to the complex nature of the AI, we unfortunately cannot bring AI fixes earlier for this Wyvern update. So yeah, I'm looking forward for what they're cooking into that one. Freedom versus constraints. Some design choices, either intentionally or unintentionally, result in overly flexible experience where everything is possible. While accessibility is important, we want choice to have consequences and factions to develop distinctly. We're planning to make significant effort in tightening several aspects of the game. Okay, well, that could be scary, and we'll see. I mean, I guess they're talking about how you can literally just select every tome and, you know, like, maybe they're actually gonna restrict some opposite, like, I mean, there's already have like a opposite affinity thing, yeah, like in the game there, but I mean, most of the time it absolutely doesn't matter. Yeah, you can. Wasn't it a cool thing about the Age of Wonders 4? You can just, everything is selectable, yeah. Well, maybe they're trying to please the people who are like still to this day like complaining about please give us back the, you know, like staple faction choice instead of this like culture creation. Let's not, I don't know, we'll see. Research flow. One of the highest priorities is ramping research system. Really? Currently, it's too easy to acquire abundance of tomes, causing balance issues and often resulting homogeneous endgame factions. Our chances will limit a subset of tomes of in a single session. Encouraging. Yeah, there we go. That's what they want to do probably here too. Yeah, it's too easy. Well, there's one problem with the abundance of tomes is that you kind of like there's always more spells in a tome that you unlock new tome by 3 spells, right? Cycles. So you effectively gonna like stack so much trash that you need to research and whatever, reroll, skip, and but yeah, they can probably come up with something here. It definitely, like, a lot of times I felt like I'm supposed to be role-playing specific, you know, color and everything, but instead of getting stronger there, I was just stealing some easy tone 1, tier 1, tier 2, even sometimes more from, like, very convenient place. More checks and balances. Well, we introduced additional checks and balances to various mechanics such as tightening rules for casting summons, limiting the impact of direct damage spells on a world map, and imposing more severe penalties for exceeding hero cap. Oof. You guys already destroyed combat summons. Now they want to tighten summons like that on a map and limiting impact of direct damage spells on a world map. The direct damage spells on the battle already kind of suck, most of them, except for the surprisingly, like, it's so unfair how Mystics got the insane early game like spell there, and well, I guess it makes sense, but still, it's just yeah. The one thing I wanted to mention earlier is that it's so weirdly like balanced in that regard too, so that if you get AI Mystic, you're probably gonna get cheese countered because computer can actually use combat's default spell against you infinitely until you win, and does significant damage. So you need to overheal it with your healers or something. You will actually lose. So you're gonna like cheese too much, and plus summons are nerfed. Versus anything else but Mystics and Astrals, because those factions and the free cities included, they will not get these free spells. Like, they will be spamming Fortify and all that other stuff that they get for free. So yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it was kind of like, at least back in release, AI always get more advantages and scary when they actually have a direct spell damage, because computer, who cares? Like, computer can cheat with the amount of mana. They freezies have infinite mana apparently too, which is weird. Like, combat casting, or at least they're trying to have a lot of it. And Mystics obviously by design have it a lot. We aim to make winning feel like a true achievement and ensure losing feels fair. We acknowledge the need to improvement in magic victory, which often occurs too early. Then scaling with map size. Yeah, that is like insane. Well, because of exploits also, I think. But yeah, magic victory could be, it's the fastest one. It's definitely the I don't know if they're talking about PvE, PvP here, but yeah. We want player factions to actively prevent opponents from reaching victory rather than rely on PvE pressure. Expect to rework Magic Victory on coming Watcher updates. Seals Victory will return as a premium feature. Seals Victory? What is Seals Victory? Is that something from Age of Wonders 3 expansion that I might have forgotten? Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, I still need to replace some campaigns in Age of Wonders 3. By the way, for those who didn't watch my streams, I was like playing Age of Wonders 3 campaigns before the release to hype up the thing, but unfortunately, Age of Wonders 3 campaigns are very long. I mean, it's not unfortunately, but you know, it just takes a lot of content. Maps. While map generation systems continue to evolve, there are specific areas we want to give an extra attention to. For the Watcher update, we're enhancing underground, making caverns more spacious and valuable. There we go. Fuck yeah. Relocating the ore class of magic materials, predominantly underground. Ah, ore class magic, okay. Granting higher annex ranges. Higher annex ranges for underground cities, introducing theme infestation through. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Nice. More content. More exciting things to find. We're playing video game. We want to explore, we want to have like new things, and instead of just the same repeatable shit. Yeah. Shout out to the Roguelite games. By the way, I said it earlier in some streams there, but the recently as I've been, you know, like more content creator who is like played a lot of indie games every year and a lot of quality trendy games, and a lot of them are marketing successfully are usually the roguelites. Not even roguelikes, like it's hardcore permadeath and all that, but roguelite inspired games. And I was just thinking in general, AI, technology progression, and procedurally generated content. I was saying how I actually start to miss like immersion of the worlds, you know, like some kind of adventure I want to craft for myself. I want to have like these new experiences too, instead of just like juicing and grinding one thing. And you know, like being a kind of like a quote-unquote slave to the loop of the gameplay that's obviously designed to, for average playtime stat and have the players to put console playing. I mean, I don't have it like, I mean, roguelites and roguelikes and like card games as it's really predominant right now genre. Right now there's anything card game, like, I mean, hell, I even streamed a demo that is really fun. Like there was this these Doom Isles game called, and the gameplay, it's a god game where you are controlling, like people there, yeah, like trying to manage them. It's a god game with the cards. Like, you basically play the card game with there too. Anything is cards here. And the reason I mentioned this is that because, like, yeah, it's bread and butter for me of my brand, and I get a lot of like views slash on my streams, and of course it's an exciting thing for viewers. But at the same time, man, I want to go back to the times when there was like less of this live services and online games and these loop infinite content games. I want to have it's so rare to see kind of like art slash adventure, something immersive. Yeah, this is why I love like I'm talking about games like Prey, all these like super big JRPGs. Well, not the modern ones, but well, anyway, I will. It's just I want to play them, but most of the time it's like a bad business decision for big creators, smaller creators on Twitch, on YouTube. Obviously, people will be incentivized to make content which generates more revenue and gives you more growth and all that, which in my case obviously is in my case it's like, XCOM, the sources are the pit, roguelikes, tactical games, strategy games, all that stuff, clever games in general, squad games, but yeah, I also want to play immersive experiences. But it's okay, we have the second channel now, kick.com/TorNis. I'm going for the kick, not as a kind of like a potential cozy. It's my alt account. Instead of making an alt account on Twitch, I want to make it on Kick, because Kick right now is a viral like thing, and not even because of money there. I don't think I'm gonna get too much organic viewer growth there or money from there, but hey, I still would. I still advertise my Ko-Fi page more than Ko-Fi page profit is almost the same as the Kick, if 95.5 there. 95 splits, I mean, and Ko-Fi is 100 splits to the creator. But yeah, so the idea is that I will stream cozy and like games that are probably gonna damage my Twitch quote-unquote brand and the average stats and metrics, so that, and like I will not piss off viewers too, because like, oh wow, you're playing that, you were so better before, you were like, I like watching you play that, now you're playing this. Well, if you don't want to watch, I'll be there and Kick. And of course, the cool thing about it is I can still live stream, and then I will upload it to YouTube as the content, because I mean, I don't like, the YouTube is not my main source of everything, so basically, I mean, of course, on YouTube I also have a bunch of subscribers and it's growing, and I love it that I'm actually making some kind of small progress. I don't know if it's possible, but I will try to try to push for 10k subs on my YouTube channel this year. Maybe that would be super awesome to have 5 digits, but again, I'm getting like less than 50 subs per month right now. But at least, I mean, obviously every time I upload a brand new, like on YouTube, Let's Play or something, I usually piss off some of my subscribers existing, because it's not game for them, or it's a different genre or whatever. Well, again, it's like the more content the better, the more people will find it through that, and I need to expand obviously. I need to put my eggs in different baskets, and the most important is that I need to, well, as long as Twitch right now lives, I need to just try to make it still my, I need to please more people on Twitch with their preferred content, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, as you maybe seen and watched my streams and stuff, last month Twitch is not Twitch is really shooting themselves in the foot a lot, and there's a lot of like CEO drama, Kick versus Twitch, a lot of features again, you know, like going not in favor of Twitch. Twitch itself pissing off both creators and viewers. Yeah, stuff like that. Alright, one moment, I have to fix my audio. My speaker, it's so quiet here with speakers that I have the speakers with this feature that I cannot disable or enable. Basically, if the computer doesn't produce loud enough sound from speakers, the speakers will eventually shut down working to save their, you know, energy and stuff. It's just a cool feature, but it's kind of awkward when I'm literally streaming or doing right now, recording with the quiet music like that. Anyway, let's continue. Sorry, I sidetracked it. I just wanted to express my feelings about this. We're almost done, by the way, here. So in Solid, I was stalling for longer video, but yeah, I'm probably gonna get 2 hours down here. Just 4 minutes left for that. Maps. So yeah, thank you. Water gameplay improvements also planned. Yes, offering more reasons to explore and the ways to exploit water provinces, such as enhancing naval encounters. Yeah, the water is very basic right now, and the case doesn't feel rewarding and enough, and it's scuffed because of movement penalties. Lava gameplay, including lava walking and faction. Wait, so you're gonna include lava walking? Wow, okay, finally. Like, yes, sure. Because this was always like a feature in previous games, so hell, flying also over it. Yeah, not even lava walking, just flying over. Faction-specific lava sector exploration under consideration for future. Wow, okay. Increased number of notches on player distance and relative map size, so there's some more granularity there. Key features. In addition to addressing issues, we're dedicating introduction exciting new free features. The Golem updates will bring a worker nation system for vassals. Vassals worker nation. Okay, allowing you to request assistance and attack specific. Yeah, I thought it's in a game, but actually it wasn't. I couldn't manipulate them to attack anything. We're also developing all new item forge. The design already looks very promising as it integrates collected magic materials nodes in your domain. Well, so it's gonna be connected to the material nodes instead of the... okay, cool. Balancing the game remains ongoing task, focusing, addressing overpowered meta playstyles and combat synergies. So they're, yeah, you see, even though they like exploits and stuff, they still intending to cut on that. Top priority goes to adjusting buffing of range units among... Yeah, there we go, man. Well, here, you just buffed... Guys, do you realize that you just buffed essentially one of the strongest range units in the game? Unintentionally, maybe even. And the Glade runner. Zephyr cries in the corner. I love Zephyr Archer, but now, like... They gave Glades mounts, and some mage units also mounts, like... Okay, dude. Well... Adjusting the buffing of ranges. I guess they're talking about enchantments and stuff like that. But yeah, again, it's just ranged or magic, and some guns are always usually like advantage in tactics games. Faction identity. Faction creation lies in the heart of the game. We're committed to enhancing and cross updates. Expect more options for customization, evolution, such as additional form trade slot, and there, yeah, I was wondering if like you need to give another trade slot there, yeah, and trades themselves in new ways to alter army visuals. We're thriving to improve faction identity differentiate both at the start of the faction progress as we continue to develop the game. We hope the summary of upcoming plans is helpful. Please note all above is various stages of development, so things may still change. Conclude, we sincerely appreciate your continued support and valid feedback and patience as we enhance Age of Wonders 4. Your input fuel our passion to create the best strategy game possible. Well, yeah, currently, honestly, in 2023, this is the best strategy game, isn't it? I mean, you could say that Macabellon or something, it might be, but it's out of Battler, and it's completely different genre here. Gameplay, it's also PvP. Yeah, last year we had a banger games, you know, like the King Arthur Nine Tales, which is still, I think, some people sleeping, like in terms of like tactics, squad kind of like based games and everything. Yeah, so much effort. And by the way, if you're following me or the Twitter developers and stuff like that, the game is not quote unquote dead. They're still, I mean, they're promising these big DLCs, expansions, and it's coming. Again, there is more to King Arthur Night Tale, so let's go. And yeah, the last year was definitely juicy for the fans of our favorite genre. In fact, this year, you know, we have Miasma Chronicles, we got Age of Wonders 4, we're gonna get some more games. And of course, your TorNis guy. Your TorNis boy here, guy, man, TorNis. I don't know what I need to just finish this video already. I'm like, it's too at night here. It's still hot, and you know. But yeah, your TorNis guy is gonna handle all the exciting strategy tactics games. And if I somehow miss something, DM me, Discord me, like stuff. Come to my stream. Tell me to check out some games. I literally sometimes you probably notice that I interrupt my stream, gameplay or whatever, and I Google and check on Steam the game. Like for example, during the stream of the Sea of Stars demo that I, by the way, check out. It's one of the most exciting indie games of this year. Super awesome. There was a viewer that came in and asked, said that this game reminds me of him, that specific game, and I was like for 10 minutes trying to figure out what that game was and why I had it in my Steam account already, and I never played it, stream it. So yeah, that was some actually good game that I might stream later. Thanks to these, like, you know, stuff like that happens. Thank you for being part of our community, and please continue sharing your thoughts. Yes, best regards, Leonard Sass. Well, at least again, I just like making like some kind of references or attempts at making fun of names, but you know, like I see Sass, I gotta make a reference to the Amogus sauce. Sorry. Game director, Age of Wonders 4. If you're interested in impacting development directly, our closed beta is still open for applications. We're excited. Well, I mean, that's not for me. I'm a open beta tester. Right? Well, I'm a QA streamer, essentially. Like, and besides, yeah, there's plenty of people probably want that access, and meanwhile, creators are the ones who usually want money for their work. Through the latest wave of program, we hope the new perspective brought on new. Well, it's good that they're, you know, taking account in all the testers instead of just like some, you know, imagine if they would just take feedback from like these big YouTubers and those who were reviewing the game pre-release. But yeah, it's Paradox Interactive really did an incredible PR job on this game. But yeah, they also spent so much on some of these big YouTubers like Spiff and Brit, holy crap. And that was like really good audience for that too. Good job on that. I mean, the game got plenty of exploits, and he's literally have a brand for exploits, and so that was perfect. So much attention. You know, you gotta find the right channels. I wish I was like, you know, obviously I wish I was more influential and all that with my powers and all the, you know, like ability to make reviews, the objectional kind of like assessment of situation, the game context, and help other players and learn and share strats and exploits, whatever you can do, basically. But There was actually a few days ago, there was apparently, I learned something. So you know how I was like, there was the game called The Moonbreaker, and it was like, it's from the developers of Subnautica, and that was a cool PvP tactics game, yeah, with the board game, and you can paint stuff there, and it's getting updates. So they messed up the launch of that game. Super failed the first impressions, and they were greedily they were trying to monetize the game. There was literally no reason to. There was nothing to even monetize, honestly. There was these tickets for like gameplay. There was the currency shout in your face in the main menu. That's so bad. People literally. Also, it's a paid game, so obviously it was a lot of controversy, and the entire player base eventually left. There was like, you know, healthy people in first couple weeks, then literally like 5 players online, and then just 0 eventually. And the Discord server of that game is like, you know, developers just trying to copium kind of mode. And I mean, people were like, players were selling developers, don't do this, stop it. There was like a pre-release, beta, yeah, and everybody was like, no, we got plans, we got a, you know, Krafton partner, their publisher probably. I would assume Krafton probably forced them to do something in that regard. But yeah, their main mistake was that because this game is from developers of Subnautica, they thought that because they're developers of Subnautica, that game that they release is automatically going to be like the best, you know, like the next Jesus of the excitement, and you know, like they can get away with so much. And well, they learned a lesson too about QA and how to not mess up the first impressions. Anyway, so the game for the many weeks and even months has dead state, and it's a multiplayer basically. There's a single player game mode, but it becomes quickly boring and all that, at least now, not much content. So what happened is that apparently just recently there was one YouTuber who almost have 1 million subs. He made a he made a love letter to the game. He reviewed it. He showed every strong side of it, how the game's supposed to be enjoyed and loved, and all the good sides of the game. And he also, of course, mentioned that how crazy that there's no like online player base and everything, and it deserves much more. There's a lot of effort and everything. And bam, because of that YouTuber, now the game is having healthy 200, 300 online players, at least for the time being. Yeah, I'm pretty sure some people eventually will give up again on from what I see, the Moonbreaker actually intends to make a ladder finally, like a ranked ladder instead of just random ladder. Yeah, so at least some of the more hardcore players will have a more reason to play the game. Yeah, well, there we go. So Moonbreaker, again, you might... I'm mostly kind of like referencing my community because I played that game on stream since the release a lot, and it was like a next artifact for me. Unfortunately, I knew that it's gonna fail and backfire because of this bullshit monetization thing that I did. But it was such a great game and experience. It just like, if the big streamers on Twitch are gonna actually start playing this on their daily basis, and like participate in activities and promote the game too, then there will be healthy Twitch like live. I mean, kind of like Twitch viewer interest for the game again, and then I can actually come back to the game too, because right now, like, it's still nobody in my follow list plays that. And the same technically as the Age of Wonders 4. I think the only person in Age of Wonders 4 that's... Marbozir is busy with other games, like I'm busy with the Steam Festival that ends tomorrow, and some other projects, responsibilities and sponsored stuff. I think Death Tactics is the only streamer who are actually streaming Age of Wonders 4. And even he got like way less viewers than on release in a couple of weeks there. So again, interest on Age of Wonders 4 on Twitch seems like dropping. But this I will see myself if when I stream it and how my community is gonna enjoy it again or not. If something goes wrong, I'll just play it on Kick, or I want to at least finish the DLC, the story realm, experience the changes, and what's not, I'll show you there. That's obviously granted. I'm really dedicated to development cycle of this game, kind of like Phoenix Point and all of these games that I spend a lot of. Like, if you go to my YouTube channel and see it, not even any game, like this is exception, because not every game, like I can make a video for a lot of games that I enjoy and hyped, but I don't really do any like patch reading videos that much. And yeah, the Phoenix Point and King Arthur Knight Tales I think was one of the exceptions that I wanted to make, because that was like super important for the context of those who watch my streams of and videos. But yeah, I mean, there's so many indie games and other things. Yeah, like there's a patch, the early access thing, there's another patch, then there's that thing. I could make a video about even like smaller topics and just news in general, industry updates. But I'm not. I mean, I'm kind of like, I don't know, it feels a bit off character, and I just don't want to flood you guys here. I want, gameplay. I very much appreciate every one of you who can take your time from the day and whenever you can, and watch the whole thing or just fast forward and skip some stuff. Like be in touch with, essentially interact with my content that I'm doing. You guys are the best. And of course, lurkers #1 on streams, and hell, even on YouTube, I guess you can call lurkers instead of people who not necessarily like, comment on anything, or they do like some feedback related like actions, but they're watching, but they're lurking. All right, that's gonna be my final words. I know I could have ended in 2-hour mark this, but I decided to talk about a little bit of my current situation on streaming and my opinion about the games and stuff. And you probably also learned some extra, a little bit, not just about me, but the video games that you might want to check out if you never heard of Moonbreaker, King Arthur Knight Tales, and stuff like that. And of course, I'm gonna be keeping upload some cool, like the best demos that I played. I'm not gonna be uploading every single demo that I played, because there's some of them are scuffed or mediocre, or like definitely something I could come back later. But I'm gonna upload on YouTube like the things that I consider worth it, and yeah, enjoy them. And of course, everybody who follows me through the Age of Wonders 4 content and waits for the next episode or quote-unquote day, that will happen very soon. We're gonna dive into dragons. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Patch notes for 2 hours. God.